used to be caring. And then, everything he loved was taken from him. I knew he was lost, but I did not realize that he was broken.
Doctor Strange is wearing a mask, and not the Sorcerer Supreme's ceremonial kind. A mask that bears a third eye design. A mask that connects him visually to the man he is apparently standing beside, or beneath, or behind. The mask of a follower. The most powerful sorcerer on Earth is not leading the charge against Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. According to the most credible leaks currently circulating around the final trailer, he may be standing with him. Let that land, because if that is what the final trailer is about to confirm, Marvel is not just delivering another superhero epic. They are delivering a story where the man who has saved reality multiple times, who sacrificed his life against Thanos, who gave Peter Parker the most consequential spell in MCU history, that man has looked at what Victor Von Doom is building and decided that the right response is cooperation rather than resistance. The final Avengers Doomsday trailer is coming. Industry insiders are pointing to late September, time to the theatrical re-release of Avengers Endgame Encore, and the leaks around what this trailer contains are significantly more explosive than anything the previous promotional material has revealed. 2 unannounced characters, massive third-act scale, a deliberate shift away from the conservative Act 1 footage that has dominated the marketing so far, and the specific question of whether Marvel is going to show Doctor Strange's role or protect it until opening night. Let's break all of this down, because the marketing strategy for this film is as interesting as the film itself. Start with the timeline, because Marvel's promotional calendar is never accidental. The Avengers Endgame Encore theatrical re-release is arriving in late September. This is not simply a nostalgia exercise, it is a calculated mechanism, putting audiences back in theaters with the film that introduced the time travel mechanics, that assembled the original Avengers one final time, that ended with Tony Stark's sacrifice at the exact moment when Doom is about to walk in wearing Tony's face. Marvel wants that grief fresh. They want the emotional baseline of Endgame reactivated in the audience before Doomsday arrives in December. The Encore release serves the Doomsday marketing strategy more than it serves nostalgia. Attaching the final Doomsday trailer to that re-release, whether as a theatrical exclusive first drop or as a simultaneous online launch, places the trailer approximately 2 months before the worldwide premiere. That timing is the sweet spot Marvel has consistently targeted for final trailers. Early enough to dominate the cultural conversation for 2 full months. Late enough that even a very revealing trailer cannot significantly impact the opening weekend trajectory for a film with this level of pre-existing demand. The leaks around the trailer come from industry insider James Mack, whose track record on Marvel marketing information has been reliable enough that the fan community is taking this seriously. The core detail: the final trailer will lean heavily into high-octane action and sequences designed for genuine shock value. It will feature footage from significantly later in the film than anything the previous trailers have touched. And it will introduce 2 characters who have not appeared in any official marketing yet: Mobius from the TVA, and Dr. Stephen Strange. Mobius appearing makes immediate narrative sense once you understand the timeline mechanics the film appears to be running. Previous plot information has placed Loki visiting Steve Rogers wearing TVA attire, and that interaction is likely occurring during an earlier period of Loki's timeline, around the Season 1 or Season 2 window before he takes his position at the center of the multiverse tree. If Mobius is operating in the context of that TVA thread, his appearance in the trailer functions as the bridge between the Disney Plus multiversal lore and the theatrical event. For casual audiences who watched Loki, Mobius's presence signals continuity and stakes. For the hardcore fan, it confirms that the TVA is actively involved in monitoring the timeline collapses that are feeding into Battleworld. Doctor Strange is the more consequential reveal, and the one with more complicated marketing implications. The whispers from set details around Strange's role in Doomsday suggest he is not appearing as a lead hero. He is appearing as one of Doctor Doom's zealots, marked by a distinct mask, a third eye design incorporated into that mask, which connects both to the Eye of Agamotto that Strange has carried and to the specific imagery of Doom's inner circle of Latverian witches. Strange as a follower, not a captive, not a victim, but an apparent ideological adherent, is the character beat that, if true, would represent one of the most significant moral turns the MCU has ever taken with a hero. The Hickman comics provide the framework that makes this make sense. In the Time Runs Out storyline, Strange was one of the members of the Illuminati who made increasingly terrible decisions in secret, believing that ends justified means in ways that his colleagues and the audience could not fully accept. He cooperated with forces he knew were monstrous because the alternative seemed worse. If the MCU's Strange has spent the years since Multiverse of Madness working in the Dimensional Rift alongside Clea, and if he has encountered Doom there and reached the same conclusion his comic counterpart reached, that Doom's methods are terrible but are the only thing with a non-zero probability of working, then his appearance as a Doom follower is not a betrayal of the character. It is the character taking the logic of his arc to its darkest possible conclusion. Marvel's marketing dilemma around this reveal is real and genuinely interesting. They have two options: show Strange masked in the trailer, a mysterious figure wielding mystic arts energy in Doom's inner circle, keeping casual audiences guessing whether that is actually Strange until opening night, or show him unmasked, confirming his role early and generating an immediate mainstream conversation about what happened to the Sorcerer Supreme. Option A protects the theater experience. Option B generates the viral moment. Both have costs. The lesson from recent MCU marketing failures is directly relevant here. The final promotional push for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness systematically revealed nearly every member of the Illuminati through late-stage TV spots. Patrick Stewart, John Krasinski, Lashana Lynch. Each reveal landed as a controlled explosion in the marketing cycle, and then was no longer a surprise in the theater. The promotional team traded the in-the-theater experience of those reveals for a few days of online discussion each time, and the film's overall reception suffered partly because of it, not because the scenes were not good, but because they had already been processed as information rather than experienced as surprises. A late TV commercial openly revealed the X-Men post-credits cameo in an attempt to boost opening weekend tracking. It did not meaningfully move the needle on attendance. It did eliminate the single biggest surprise the film had to offer for anyone who saw that spot. Avengers Doomsday is not in the position those films were in. Early ticket tracking is placing it on trajectory with event-level releases like Brand New Day, projecting toward the $2 billion global box office range. Opening weekend showtimes are expected to sell out globally before the final trailer even drops. This film does not need to sacrifice third-act secrets to generate audience interest, because the audience interest already exists and is not contingent on knowing what happens in the third act. The ideal final trailer for this film is not the one that reveals the most. It is the one that captures the atmosphere of what it feels like to be inside a story where the multiverse is collapsing and Dr. Doom has arrived to tell everyone that the world they live in was stolen from him. The green fire beneath the throne, the green and yellow runes on the gauntlet, Reed Richards asking Victor if he did this. The scale of Battle World being assembled from 3 versions of Manhattan, Thor's trembling hands, the question that hangs over all of it, whether the heroes can stop a man who is right about the problem and catastrophically wrong about the solution. That is a trailer that does not need to show Strange unmasked. That is a trailer that can hint at every major development without confirming any of them. A masked figure in Doom's inner circle using mystic arts energy is a hook that generates months of discussion without eliminating the theater experience of the reveal. The Endgame Encore re-release is the launchpad, late September is the window, and the decision Marvel makes about how much of Strange's role to confirm will tell you a great deal about whether the studio has genuinely learned from the promotional mistakes of Phase 4 and 5, or whether the pressure of box office expectations overrides the lesson every time. What do you think? Does Marvel protect the Strange reveal until opening night, or does the viral potential of confirming that the Sorcerer Supreme is standing with Dr. Doom outweigh the cost of giving that away in the trailer? And the Mobius connection to the TVA thread, does his presence in the trailer make you more or less confident about where the Loki storyline lands in this film? Drop everything in the comments because September is coming, and I want to be in this conversation with you when the trailer finally drops.